What's up YouTube? It's the Equipment Junkie here, and today we're going to be doing a review of the brand new Mizuno ST200G Driver. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. Roll the clip. Alright guys, so Mizuno's new ST200G is one of three models in the ST200 line of woods from Mizuno. We have the ST200X, which is the most forgiving, draw bias version of the ST200 series. Then we have the ST200, which is kind of the standard, gonna fit a lot of people type of driver. Then we have this is the ST200G. This is gonna be the low spin, well, monster of the series. As you can see, we have two sliding weights here. The others do not have any adjustable weights. The X has they both have back weights, and then the X has more of a heel draw biased weight. This has two track weights. You can bring it low, medium, high. Right now it's in the low setting. What's interesting about this driver is with these weights, when they're in the low setting, they're not terribly unforgiving. Normally what you're going to see is one sliding weight up the front, or you're just going to see one weight up in the front of the driver. What's nice about this is you can bring both weights up, and although it's still up front and you're going to lose MOI, it's spread out a little bit. So at least the weights are closer to the perimeter of the head, so you're not going to lose all the forgiveness of the driver. So we have this really interesting face. It's called Beta Titanium, which that's not new in and of itself, but it's new in Mizuno drivers. And what they're claiming, Mizuno's claiming at least, is that these faces are going to get closer to the USGA legal limit than other faces on the market. They're also saying that over time, when other faces of drivers are wearing out, this one isn't. This one's going to stand the test of time, so you can use this thing for 3, 4, 5, 6 years without it really, how you might say, deteriorating, losing ball speed, and you in turn losing distance. So you can buy this driver, invest into this golf club, knowing that it's actually going to hold up as you keep playing it. So that's pretty cool. I really like that about this driver. The crown of this head is just a black gloss carbon. There is this line on top, which I think they could have done away with, but it's not absolutely terrible, and I don't mind it at address. So with that being said, it's not too bad. I like these blue accents they put. It just kind of adds to the sleekness of the driver. It looks nice. It looks slick, sexy, and I just feel like when you're looking down at this thing, you feel like you can hit a very long way. So after putting this head down, what's really kind of cool and what I like to look at is this head cover. It's a nice looking head cover, and I know not everybody uses stock head covers, but if you're gonna use one, this is probably the nicest one on the market. It's white and it has these really cool carbon insets that are just, they're fabric, but they look kind of carbon-like, and I think that's kind of cool. Then we have just the standard white and blue Mizuno tool right here, and the shaft I'm going to be using to test this club is the Hazardous Smoke 65 TX driver shaft. We have it at 44 inches, and so without any further ado, let's head over to our facility and let's get some testing in. All right guys, so we're here at the facility, and what we're going to be doing is testing this ST200G in, well, we're going to try to do 3 different settings. As you're going to find out later in the video, we can only do 2 different settings in the weights, but what we're going to do is we're going to go with the low spin setting, which is what it's at right now, and then we're going to move the weights to the back of the head and put them in the high spin setting and just kind of see how launch and spin and carry and whatnot just kind of differ as we move the weights. Dispersion as well, because obviously you move the weights back, it's got to be more forgiving. This is the Beta Titanium face that Mizuno is talking about. As I said earlier, what Mizuno is claiming is this face is going to be hotter than others on the market. It's going to get closer to the USGA legal limit. And then because it's such a hardened steel, it's going to hold up over time, so you can use this thing for a few years and it's not going to, kind of deaden as some other drivers do. In this club, we have a Hazardous Smoke Black 60 gram 6.5 TX. It's at 44 inches, and then I choke up probably about another inch because I'm a short guy, so that just kind of helps me get closer to center. Hey guys, then this is my gamer driver. This is the Callaway Epic Flash Sub-Zero, and this is at 8 degrees. And let's see, standard weight settings. Then we have, in the shaft, we have a Nippon Regio Formula M Plus 65X, 44 inches again. And again, I choke up on this thing a little bit as well. We are using brand new Titleist Pro V1X golf balls. So you can see sleeve's already missing. It is out, sitting on the floor, and it has TrackMan dots on it. So yeah, got to use brand new golf balls. Really quickly though, I want to touch on one thing about this Mizuno head. These weights are really nice. As you can see, if I start to unscrew this, it stops right here. I cannot unscrew it anymore here. It starts to tighten the other way. Simply move it back and tighten it in. Why is that cool? Because some other drivers on the market, you don't tighten it, you don't loosen it enough, I should say, and it doesn't move, or you loosen it too much and the weight literally just falls apart outside of the head. So this like loosens a little bit and it tells you when to stop, and it just moves really nicely. Another thing I like is if I loosen it, it comes right out. There's no fidgeting, there's no having to try to shake it out like I have to do with TaylorMades and Callaways all the time. So I could pop this thing back in, move it wherever I want. I could pop it out, put it in the bottom one. I can move the bottom one to the top. So there's a billion different settings you can do here. So I really like that. That's pretty cool. Crown that Mizuno has on the ST200G. If you look closer, there's this kind of carbon fibery spot to it right here in the back, and it's just a nice gloss black colorway, which is just really classy and clean. There's this line that goes around that's all white, which I don't really understand, and then there's this like chunky part which is on the heel, which I don't understand at all. Doesn't look terrible. I'd say it brings the score from a 10 out of 10 to a 9 out of 10, so it still looks fantastic. I'm just not really sure. As we zoom in, I'm not really sure why they did that. And then there's this Mizuno logo right here, which actually looks spectacular behind the golf ball. It looks really nice, very sleek, and just kind of a nice little touch to the crown. I really like that. Overall, I think Mizuno really did a nice job. If they took the white line out, I think it'd be perfect, but I think it's pretty darn close. It's probably one of the best looking drivers at address on the market by far. So I still really, really like it. What we're gonna do is we're gonna hit 5 shots in 3 different settings. Right now I have the weights forward, so this is gonna be the low spin setting. Then I'm gonna move the weights back to the middle and then the back of the head, and we're gonna hit 5 with each and just kind of see how launch and spin and carry, ball speed all differ as we move them back. Then I'm gonna hit 5 shots with my driver, my current gamer, which is the Callaway Epic Flash Sub-Zero, and we're gonna see how this thing stacks up to it, because I've tested a lot of drivers and I think the one I have is the fastest one on the market. So if this thing can stack up, that would be pretty impressive. So it does set up slightly open. I do have it cranked down to 8 degrees because I hit up on it. It kind of helps me bring launch and spin down. So I like it at 8, but it definitely sits a little bit open. All right, let's go. 5 shots with each. That one was pretty good there. 285 carry. 2300 spin. 110 club speed, which is a little low. This thing feels really good. I will say that about this club, it feels fantastic. This thing just feels like when you hit it, even if you miss it out of center a little bit, it still feels like it's going. Like sometimes with my driver, if I miss it a little bit, it doesn't feel gone. When I miss it, even if I tow this thing, I hit those 2 pretty good. But I notice even if I tow this thing, it still feels like it's gone. That was pretty good. 289 carry, 2000 spin. That one was missed a little bit. 275 carry, we lost about 10-15 yards, and then a little low on the face. Spin went up. 280 carry, I just pulled it a little bit. Club speed went down, ball speed went down. Still pretty good. All right, so now I'm gonna move the weights, move them to the middle of the head. See, now this is interesting. So I thought we would be testing this in 3 different settings today, but because the weights pop out and there's this little slot here, these weights do not even tighten in the middle of the head. If I tighten it, it pops right out. So we will not be testing it in 3 different settings. That's interesting. All right, we're going to move it to the high setting. Test it there. Guys, I really do like these weights though, but you can't put the weights in the middle of the head. So that's a bummer. But all right, let's go 5 with this. That feels so much more forgiving out of the middle of that. Oh, that felt good. Yeah, spin went way up. I mean, that was centered. Spins up. Yeah, now this thing's spinning. My goodness. Okay, guys, now this thing is spinning a little bit. That first one was 2,800. Now that one was 3,000. I found a little low on the face, and spins even higher. And I'm already a fairly high spin player, so the spin keeps going up. I'm not really liking that. I really like the weights in that forward setting. It's still plenty forgiving. That's a pretty good shot right there. Spin's just high. Launching higher, launching a little bit higher. That's the spinning part. Hold that a little bit. That's about to spin down. It's actually pretty straight. And that one brought spin down a little higher on the face, which is probably why I thought I pulled it. Alright. Pretty good. This thing feels great. Fantastic. I really like the weights in that forward setting though. Now let's go 5 with mine. And I have the Epic Flash Sub-Zero. Not the same shaft. We got Nippon Regio Formula M Plus 65X. Same weight. They are not the same bend profile or anything like that. Pretty good. He is deep to right center field. Hold it. Hey guys, this thing is still long. I mean, I love that. I love the Mizuno. But I still think this thing is going to be a little ways by it. Based on what I'm seeing. Missed that a little bit. I mean, I missed that a little bit. Still 167 ball speed. Which isn't high. For a miss. I mean, the spin went up to 2,800 and it still flew 285. Press that again a little bit. Yeah, the ball speed went down, but the spin went down too, so it carried further. One thing I'll say about this Epic Flash, if anything, is that the spin stays down, even if you miss it. And I can tell with that Mizuno, I mean, I missed a couple and the spin just is skyrocketed. Even if I'm missing a couple of these, spin's still staying pretty close to the mid 2000s, low 2000s. That was it. Pretty solid, I'd say. Yeah, but a little high toe, lost a little ball speed. Pretty good though. I mean, nothing too bad at all. So that's it for the testing, and I'll catch you guys back at the studio, and we'll throw some numbers on the screen, and we'll figure this out. Peace. All right, guys, so we're here, and we're going to go over these numbers, but a couple things. What we're going to do is I'm going to put the numbers on the screen across me. We're going to do Mizuno weights forward, Mizuno weights back, and then we're going to do my Epic Flash. Then what we're going to do is we're going to rate these drivers on a scale of 1 to 10. My Epic Flash Sub-Zero and this Mizuno ST200G. So let's start with the low spin setting. These weights forward. Those are the first 5 shots that I hit. So, weights forward setting. Club speed 110.3, ball speed 163.6, carry 283.3, total 302.7. It was launching at 15.5 degrees, a little high, but it was spinning low enough to where it was still getting solid distance, 2400 spin. And we look at smash factor 1.48, pretty solid numbers there. I'll take anything over 1.48 smash factor. It's pretty efficient for me. As far as dispersion, it averaged 51.9 feet of curve, so about 52 feet of curve, which is, over 15 yards, a little bit over 15 yards of curve. Now let's go with the weights back Mizuno. So again, this is the weights forward setting. We pull these things back. This is going to be the weights back setting. So club speed 111.7. So we gained almost a mile and a half per hour of club head speed. And then we look at ball speed 163.7. So moving these weights back, actually, it really did decrease ball speed because we gained over a mile an hour of club head speed and we only gained 1/10 of a mile an hour of ball speed. Carry 278.1. It's pretty low. Total 292.4. So we're 10 yards behind the weights forward Mizuno just by pulling the weights back. Launch angle went up half a degree. Spin rate went up 500 RPMs to basically 2,900 RPMs. Smash factor, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't crazy efficient. 1.47. We had 3 that were at 1.47 and 2 at 1.46. So technically, it was under 1.47, but TrackMan is showing me it had an average of 1.47 smash factor. So this thing curved 29.9 feet. Pretty good, and that would make sense. You move the weights back, it's going to be more forgiving. So for it to curve 20 feet less, that would make sense. All right, guys, so now let's take a look at my driver. This is the Epic Flash Sub-Zero, what I'm currently gaming. Club speed 111.4, so down compared to the weights back Mizuno, but ball speed was up 2+ miles an hour, 165.9, basically 166. Carried 286.4 for 303.2 total. Launch angle was the exact same as the Mizuno with the weights forward, 15.5 degrees. Spin rate was 2,600, so about 100 more than the weights forward Mizuno. Smash factor 1.49, really solid. Again, over 1.48, pretty close to 1.5, very efficient. And then we look at curve, 31.6 feet of curve on average. Super solid. I mean, that's keeping up with the Mizuno with the weights back in terms of dispersion. So super solid numbers from the Callaway, which I would expect. It's the one I'm currently gaming. All right, guys, so now let's get into my overall scoring. 1 out of 10, where I have 5 different categories that we're going to go off of. We have looks, feel, adjustability, performance, and dispersion. So we're ranking these on a scale of 1 to 10, 5 different categories for a total of 50 points. Let's start with the Mizuno. Looks, I am giving it a 9. It looks fantastic. It's a great looking golf club. They nailed the crown. They nailed the bottom. I wish they were taking the line out. Again, if they took that white line out, I'm giving this thing a 10. But still fantastic. It looks really, really good. Feel, again, fantastic. It feels like even when you miss it, I hit some in the center, but even when I hit it here, maybe I heeled it a little bit, it still felt like it was going. It still felt like I hit it really far, and so I really, really like that. Adjustability, I'm giving this thing a 9. The ability to bring the weights in so many different settings. You can pull them back, you can put them forward, you can put this weight up here for more fade bias, you can put this weight down here for more draw bias. This adjustability cog has up and down, plus and minus 2 degrees aloft, and you can go upright and lie angle. So it's really solid. Tons of adjustability. I really am a huge fan of the ability to change all these settings on this head. Performance, it's an 8.5 for me. And I'm going based off of the weights forward setting for the performance numbers. It performed very well. It was 2 miles an hour short in ball speed to my Epic Flash. When you look at the fact that it brought down spin, as we look at the total numbers here, it was only half a yard total behind my Epic Flash. Carry was 3 yards behind it. it would have been interesting for me to see if we got that 1 mile an hour club head speed. I wonder where the ball speed would have went with the Mizuno. Could it have gotten close to the Callaway? Because again, we were about a mile an hour down in the Mizuno from the Callaway. So I'm giving it 8.5. I still think it performed fantastically. Was it better than my Epic Flash? It wasn't, but it's still a fantastic club, and that's why I'm giving it an 8.5. Dispersion, I'm giving it a 7.5. When you move the weights forward, you don't expect it to be accurate. I mean, I hate to say it, but when you move weights forward, you're just going to lose MOI. You're going to lose lots of forgiveness. It did well, but it didn't do as well as my Epic Flash. That's why I'm giving it a 7.5. 51 feet of curve isn't a ton, but it's still up there. So, all right, guys. So now I'm going to be rating my Callaway, and I will put that up in this left-hand corner for me, right-hand corner for you guys. Looks, I'm giving it an 8. It has a great shape to the head, but that line on top is just no bueno. And the color scheme, it looks like we picked it up out of a John Deere store. Feel 8.5. If I center my Epic Flash, it really feels good. But if I miss it, you can definitely feel where you hit it on the face. You can feel if you heeled it. You can feel if you towed it. With this Mizuno, I definitely didn't feel like I knew exactly where I hit it. That's why you'll see if you go back a couple of times, I'm like, well, I missed that, but it was actually in the center. Or I'm like, I hit that in the center, but I actually missed it. So check that out. Adjustability, I'm giving it an 8.5. It has a lot of adjustability. You can move the weights to draw and fade settings. You can bring it down a degree in loft. You can go up 2 degrees. You can change the lie angle upright. But it isn't perfect. If it could go flat, maybe, if you could actually move the weights around like you can with this, it would be closer. It still has a lot of adjustability. It just isn't, it's not perfect. And it never will be with drivers, but I definitely think they definitely left a couple things on the table. Guys, for performance, I'm giving the Epic Flash Sub-Zero a 10. It just performs so well. It has super high ball speed. If you miss it, the ball speed still doesn't drop a ton. The spin rate really doesn't go up that much when I miss it, and so it just performs really well for me. Now, is it going to perform well for everybody? No, but again, that's why I'm gaming this driver. It performs super, super well. I still believe, I've tested every driver for 2020, and I still believe the Epic Flash is the fastest driver on the market, even after just testing this one, and I still think this is a great driver, but Epic Flash is hot as hell. Guys, for dispersion, I'm giving my Epic Flash Sub-Zero a 9. The fact that I can carry this thing 285 yards, hit it over 300 total, and only curve it 31 feet, I mean, that's just speaks for itself. That's just impressive stuff right there. And I'll tell you what, I'm no professional golfer here, so that speaks for itself. It's just really good numbers of dispersion. All right, guys, so overall scores. The Mizuno, 43 is what we're giving the Mizuno out of 50. Really good. I mean, it's a really good golf club. Does it perform as well as my Epic Flash? Performance-wise, no. But it beats it in a lot of other categories. It beats it in looks, it beats it in feel, it beats it in adjustability. And I think if we would have gotten the club speed up that 1 mile an hour with the weights forward, the ball speed difference would have been negligible. So I still think it is a fantastic golf club. Epic Flash, 44 out of 50. It barely edges it. And it edges it because of performance and because of dispersion. It isn't a better looking driver. It doesn't feel better. It isn't more adjustable. But it does beat it ball speed wise. It does beat it dispersion wise. So you got to hand it to the Callaway. It is a fantastic golf club. Guys, overall, I think the Mizuno ST200G is an awesome driver. I think if you're in the market for a driver, you have to check it out because it is super solid. Mizuno is not known for making woods, but they absolutely killed it with this club. Not just this one. They still have the ST200X and the normal ST200. So if you're in the market for a driver, go check these out. They are super good, and you will not be disappointed. Guys, in conjunction with Mizuno, I am super happy to announce we're actually going to be giving this driver away. Yes, we're giving this ST200G away. I hit about 10 shots with it. It is basically in brand new condition. And if you want to win it, all you got to do is subscribe to our YouTube page by clicking the button below, and you will be entered to win. We're going to pick a winner in 2 weeks, so stay tuned, subscribe, and you will be entered to win this. It is basically a brand new Mizuno ST200G driver. It is sick, it performs super well, and you will not be disappointed if you win one of these bad boys. Guys, thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, click the subscribe button here down below, and click on these links to follow us on our other social media channels, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We will be posting daily on these channels. We will be posting weekly on YouTube. You guys will not be disappointed in the content we're putting out, so definitely be sure to subscribe, click the notification bell to be notified when we post new videos. It's going to be a great 2020, and we're excited to have you guys. Peace.